Hey everybody. So, obviously, as you can tell by the score, hasn't been the most eventful or successful game up to this point, but that is about to change. So we're taking this position, trying to see if we can stop enemies from crossing over to A and deny them this part of the battlefield. And at this point, I see multiple enemies crossing, and I decide that it's time to like YOLO it and hope I can just get a good timing. Because I used artillery strike spot and actually spotted them coming out that way. I was like, just really hoping I get the timing to where they don't see me cross here, because this is going to be a really good setup to hopefully intercept at least one or two of them. I didn't actually realize how many of them were here, so this ended up being a lot more eventful. So I spotted two in the distance, and I'm like holding my fire, and I'm like, okay. This Leo up front immediately notices something is up, but doesn't quite see where that BMP died from. The T-72 over here does notice something's up, but like doesn't quite figure out where we are. So that's 3 for 3. Just rapid fire ambush. And that is the great thing about the Merkava. You have good quality thermals, both gunner and commander vision. But I immediately am like, alright, I'm overstaying my welcome if I stay in that position, because 3 people just saw me there. Literally no shot that actually works. And this is where we're showing off the reverse gear in the Merkava. This thing kind of flies in reverse, and also the turret can shoot over the back. Oh, why I'm stopped here for a minute. Oh, I'm calling on the artillery strike to do in their spot. Like, I'm kind of using the artillery strike to keep track on the places they're leaving their spawn. And we both fire, but fortunately we absolutely obliterate him through his breach. He does not kill us, though. Does get one of our crew, it knocks out our turret ring, but not too big of a deal. But that is the advantage of like just reversing like that around the corners. You can rush them into shots, and the Merkava is such a big tank that it's easy to find parts of it that won't necessarily be critical. So, overall that was a pretty good engagement. Now we do actually have thermals research, so we're seeing this slightly differently than you are on the screen, but this is also a full moon, so it's not too bad for vision. Kind of checking this area a little bit, and then we're coming back around. This is one of the features I like about the Merkava 4, and like why we started liking it as a vehicle, is if you start getting into these annoying positions, your ability to relocate around the map is actually pretty strong. And there we go, another Leo. Just completely knocked him out. Got ammo and crew in that. We saw him on the minimap harassing one of our teammates. Now we immediately go back to here. Again, it's the more people see you, the less you want to stay in a position. Like, moving around rapidly around a single position, like, they don't know exactly where you are, but if you just, like, sit in one spot, they're gonna just run at you. We also end up having a problem because one of the enemies... There's actually a BMP-2 up here. He killed one teammate. He's gonna kill this anti-air. Notice we're not actually doing great on ammo because it only took 11 rounds. Because I don't want to put ammo anywhere but the back of the turret. But like, obviously reloading on A, not viable. Now this game does get a little interesting for the end, although not necessarily from my perspective. And this is the great part about how easily you can peek out, peek back. Like, you don't risk getting exposed. But you can also just shoot basically from any angle. Fortunately, we do have some decent AA this time. Is this where the BMP-2 spawns? Yeah, this is the BMP-2. I think this is where I immediately realized the BMP-2 is over here. So one of our teammates just died over here. The anti-air dies. And we actually spot the BMP-2, but he ejects out of his vehicle. And I'm like, that's weird. And then I check the scoreboard, and I'm like, that's actually not weird in retrospect, because he might actually have enough for a nuke. And it turns out he did have enough for a nuke. So, like, it takes a second, but you start hearing the nuke sirens, and I'm like, well, that's kind of a problem, but like... Israel doesn't have good anti-air, and I'm not confident in my ability to intercept them with my current cast options. So it's like, I feel like the best bet is just to hope one of our air or anti-airs can take them out. But yeah, it's always one of those like we're actually in a pretty good position, so it'd be really annoying if we lost to a nuke right now. Although, good on that player. That was a bad shot, by the way. I spotted that Leo. I'm not sure that Leo knew exactly where I was. This is where I tried quick repeat to see if he's going for it again, but I'm like, alright, if he's not going for it again, my correct answer is not to stay there. Because at this point, I'm just setting myself up to get flanked if he does try to, like, kind of sort of figure out my position. Have to be kind of aware over here because, like, the enemy spawns right there, but whatever. And I think that's actually the missile that knocks him out of the sky. Yeah, that's the missile that knocks the nuke out of the sky. One of our ADATs actually did spawn in and get him, which is pretty clutch. Yeah. Yeah, there's the nuke siren. It still goes on for a little bit even after the bomber is shot down. And of course, we're using the responsive reverse gear and just reversing into position. And we catch him. That was a good rotation. And that's essentially it for the map. Nuke's knocked out of the sky. They don't have any other chance at that point, and that's our last kill. But overall, 6 kills, 1 assist. Overall, pretty good game. And it does kind of show off how easily the Merkava can just work a specific area. With all the forward and reversing and how easily the turret shoots over any angles. Like, if you have these urban areas, you can easily respond to threats and switch up, like, where your attention is incredibly fast, especially compared to a lot of other top-tier tanks that have, like, engine decks they can't really shoot over or that have crappy reverse speeds like a lot of the Soviets. But overall, I really like it. I'm loving this tank. Hope you enjoy that. Have a nice day, everybody.